Hi, my name is Sanjay. Today I'm going to showcase a project that I've done to create an employee recorder tracker. The structure of the project has two files for the database in the DB folder. The first file, schema.sql file, has the scheme for the database, how the database is going to be structured. The name of the database is company HRDB, and the tables it contains are called departments, roles, and employees. The departments table has the department name and its corresponding ID. Uh, the roles table has ID for the corresponding role. It will have the title of the role. It's got the salary, which department it belongs to, and this department ID corresponds back to the department's ID, which is in the department's table. Uh, Employees, which has the first name, last name of an employee, what's his role, what's his her role, manager ID, manager who this role reports to. It's got a couple of foreign keys, a foreign key which is referencing back to the ID of the roles, uh, and a foreign key manager ID which references back to the ID of the employee itself, who is also obviously manages a part of the employees table. Seeds.sql file has all the data that we would be seeding in as an initial data. So let's start off by creating the database, and then we will go from there on. If I open this in the integrated terminal uh, and connect to MySQL, now I can use the schema.sql as a source to create the database. And then I will use the seeds.sql file to seed the data into the database. Now, if you go ahead before proceeding, if we now only look at the employees table, so this is how the employees table will look like. Select from employees. So this is how all the information has now come into the employees table. Similarly, you would also have, say, instead of employees, if I look at the roles, so that's the table of the roles, which got salary, title, and the department ID, department it belongs to, and we can do the same for departments. Oh, sorry, we can do the same for departments. So I've got a department table as well. Now let's quit this. Look at the rest of the code. So let's go, let's clear to make a little bit more space for ourselves, make it a bit smaller. Um, Now, we got a package.json file which contains the dependencies for this particular project. So we've got the Inquirer and MySQL2 as two dependencies for that. Uh, it's got a git ignore file to ignore road modules, package, lock.json, VS Code, and VS Store to be uploaded back to the GitHub, and the index file which contains the main code for this particular project. So first of all, what we have done is we have called the MySQL Inquirer packages, which we need for this, and have connected. I have created a variable for connection using the MySQL create connection function. We have provided the multiple statements true because in some of the queries we need multiple statements or multiple layers of statements to be executed for the data to be produced. And then connection.connect. So once it's connected, it will console log connection established. If not, it will throw the error, and then we will start our project from there. We also have a constant for ending the connection using the connection.destroy function. Now it has got a start function, which basically if we start, it will ask us whether we want to show roles or we want to show departments or we want to show all employees, and then further options beyond that if you want those options uh, to be utilized, and we'll look at what those options are. And a quit option is to quit the application and then go back to the console, to go back to the main terminal. So we got function for start, then there's a function for department, creating department, roles, and employees. And then there's a function for more options. And the more options under the more options tab will be if you want to add a department, or if you want to add a role, or if you want to add an employee, if you want to update a role, if you want to update a manager name for an employee, and if you want to do any salary analysis, and then to quit again. So some of these functions are all there, which will define how it works. And now let's go back to the main terminal and look at how it works. So if I open this in the integrated terminal and say node index.js, so it establishes connection to the company's HR database. Connection established, and then the options for usage comes up. So if you want to look at the roles which are currently there in the database, so we can see that the table comes up which shows what department, what is the designation of the role, what department it belongs to, and what is the salary of that particular role. Now, if you want to look at the departments, it gives you a table with department ID and the department name. Similarly, if you go to look at employees, you click on this option, we get a table which has an ID of the employee, his first name and the last name, what's the designation, what's the department, salary in dollars, and the manager the function reports to. Now look at some of the options that we have. So if you go and click on more options, it asks if you want to add a department. If you say yes, we want to, and let's say we add a legal department. So if you say legal, a legal department will get created, and if you go and have a look at the departments now, it will have a legal department also added to it with its corresponding department ID. Now, let's go back to more options again. And if you want to add a role to this department, let's say we want a paralegal role to be added to this department. So paralegal is coming and joining this department. Okay, so what is the name of the department? So obviously it belongs to the legal department. How much salary this role we have? Let's say 58 grand a month, the salary that paralegal will get. And if you go and click on roles, you'll see the legal paralegal role has been added to the roles table. Now let's choose an option, go back again, and we want to add an employee to this. So say a lady called Rachel, her last name is Hack, joining this role, which is called paralegal. What's the first name of the manager? Let's say she will be reporting to the HR manager, who's Muhammad Islam. We'll use his name, Muhammad Islam, and click on that. This will now get added to the employees. And if we go and look at all employees, we can say Rachel Hack, paralegal in the legal department and reporting to Muhammad Islam. Now, as may happen in real life situation, we need to update the role of someone. And let's say the HR officer Kalpesh Shah now has been upgraded as a legal officer. He will then be shifted to the legal department, and we'll keep on still reporting to Muhammad Islam though. So we'll say update role, use his name, which is Kalpesh. The second name is Shah. What's the new title? Is legal officer, and his new department will be legal department. If you go and have a look at the all employees again, now we'll see Kalpesh Shah has become a legal officer. He belongs to the legal department now. His salary remains the same. It has not been changed as yet. And Muhammad Islam is the manager. Now, once Kalpesh Shah has been made a legal officer, let's say Rachel Hack has to now report to him and not to Muhammad Islam, because there's a layer which has been created in this particular department. So we'll go to more options. Say we'll update the name of the manager. So Rachel, sorry, Hack is the employee. She will now report to Kalpesh Shah. And now if we go and look at all employees, the manager has been changed from Mohammed Islam to Kalpesh Shah for Rakal Hack. Now, we are going to have a management meeting and we want to see what department is spending how much of money on the employees. So we have an option for that too. If you go for more option and do the analysis of the salary, we'll see that we'll have 4 departments there: sales, technical, legal, finance. Sales department will have some salary of 150 grand, 250, 213, and 110,000. So these are the 4 branches, 4 departments which have employees. So as you can see, the sales department, the technical department, the HR department, who now belongs to legal, and officer, and finance manager. So if you look at that, these are the various salaries which uh, is being spent by each of the department. The average salary, what's the minimum salary, and the maximum salary for the department. So I think this is it. This is what I wanted to show you. So I will just if we click on quit, it will quit the it will quit the application, and then we can go back and do rest of the things. So that's about this, and I will now just stop.